Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining Sandy McDougall and myself. I'm Mickey Feldman-Simon. I am the founder of I'm Back at Work, and I'm excited to have you here today in our presentation, Talking Money at Work, Bust the Blocks and Taboos that keep money from flowing your way. And before we get started, I want to make sure you can all use the webinar panel. So, and that it will not be obstructing the presentation. So your webinar panel may look like the image on the right where it is all closed up, or the image on the left where it is expanded. And to open and close it, you just click on that orange arrow up the top, and that will open and close the webinar panel. You can also drag it and move it out of the way. And you do that just by clicking at the top of the panel and then just sliding your mouse aside, and you'll move the webinar panel out of the way. In the last 5 minutes of the webinar, we will answer any questions that you may have. To ask questions, you click on the gray questions bar, and then you type in your questions in the blue rectangle underneath, and we will address all of your questions at the end of the presentation. Now I am going to turn my video camera off and pass the presentation to Sandy McDougall. Thank you, Sandy, for joining us today.
Thank you, Mickey, and hello, everyone. So I'm Sandy McDougall, and I want you to know that for me, money was akin to, not that long ago, akin to a ghost in my living room. And I am a life coach, a holistic life coach. And I work with a lot of women, their challenges, their stories, helping them move along in their lives and their work to meet their dreams, to meet their goals, to meet their visions, to find fulfillment, to find peace and calm. And it's a multidimensional journey. And as I began working with women, I realized after a time, I was willing to jump into the arena with women on almost everything. But it was like my pizza pie had one piece that was blank, and that was the topic of money. I felt myself recoiling and not able. So I went back and did my own coaching. As a coachee, I found my own mentor, and now I really lead after doing my own personal work. I really lead with, and am in total enthusiasm and in cheerleading women to strengthen, empower themselves around money too, because as we learn and grow, many of us don't pay attention to that particular topic. And I myself have been in almost every kind of workplace. I have worked in corporate, I've worked in nonprofits, I have worked in the co-op movement, I've been a volunteer, I've been in the private sector, and the money issues for women there in all those places are slightly different, but all related. So money and workplace are integrally related, and when Mickey and I put our heads together, we realized we had something here that's very interesting and very powerful, and I have a lot to share with you today about money. So here we go. No? How do I move forward now? There we go. So first of all, I want to bring in an element of hope. We're not alone. So much more is possible. You are enough. You have everything within you to grow and change in this world of money and work, and it's not too late. So yes, there are some limits. Obviously, the outside world has its own structure, but there is an incredible amount of power in who we are ourselves, what we see as how we imagine our capacity to be, and to know that we hold ourselves back. Almost all women, almost all people do, but women in particular in the world of money, we tend to hold ourselves back. We live with these ideas of limiting beliefs. We don't develop habits in ourselves that are as powerful as they could be. We have money blocks. We live under hidden taboos, and we don't circulate, therefore, at what I call the upper limit of possibility when it comes to money at work. So, a lot of us don't even try. We give up, or we think small, or we accept what exists around us or what opportunities are put right in front of us, and we don't either seek for more or we don't see existing possibilities. We don't look for new ones. We tend sometimes to make less of an effort that we might. We don't ask questions. We don't take time to learn or prepare ourselves. It helps to have perspective on the world of money and work. It helps to know what options are out there and what possibilities. But if we tend to live in fear of rocking the boat or offending someone about what we say or what we do or what we ask, and that self-doubt holds us back. So I'm all about helping women step into that place of hope and self-confidence and imagine new possibilities for yourself. It sounds perhaps a little woo-woo to you, but if you walk into any situation with a low sense of self-worth, with beliefs that hold you back and actions that limit you, then you yourself will already be creating a smaller bubble of opportunity for yourself. And so at least I help you think about how you can bring your brightest and best into any situation. Be informed and be prepared, because in the end, so much more is possible when that is the case. So let's see why this topic of money, this money thing, is so hard. Well, there are, and we all know this, that there are documented biases against women in the workplace and in the world. I mean, historically, that is so. And we also know that if we take time to take care of our homes, our children, maybe our senior parents, and then we need to or choose to come back to the workplace, that the system or individual employers or workplaces look at us as something less than fully dedicated. They don't take necessarily, not everyone takes the intention and the skills of women completely seriously. But it doesn't mean that you can't take yourself seriously. It does start with us. So when we stand up for ourselves, if we don't stand up for ourselves, let me put it that way, then they won't. So it starts with standing up for ourselves and connecting to our pride and confidence and not giving up. So what are our gifts? Our gifts are experience, skills and talents we bring, willingness to work hard and learn, our maturity, our perspective, our dedication, and generally women who have taken time out of work are excellent multitaskers, problem solvers, and cool under pressure. It's like those college students who take time after high school before going back to college. If you ask any college professor to compare those more mature college students to the young ones right out of high school, they will often say that the ones that come back after taking time out are the most sure about what they're doing and why, and bring their very best to the classroom. And so it is often with women who take time out of work and then choose or need to go back. So this one shift alone of taking responsibility for knowing and standing in your worth, it can work miracles. It's an energetic shift. It's an internal energetic shift. And I don't mean coming into any situation being pushy or brash, but grounded, confident, and clear. And there are big taboos around money. Between us and money, ourselves and money. Many of us don't talk about money much, feel a lot of ambivalent feelings about money. And when you create a dynamic of stepping into the workplace and trying to navigate the world of money, that adds a whole other layer. But we can bust the taboos. I'm a big taboo buster now around talking about money and helping women learn to engage in this world of money. Sharing, asking, learning. Money is not only a man's domain. It is as much deserved and vital for women as for men. We know that at some level, and yet we fight the biases and the historical limits that have been put on us. So taking that into account has a huge effect in all your life if you really look at the money messages that you've ingested, turn them around, change their meaning, take them in, take your power and your confidence, because, and it's very, very important because money does touch everything. So we start where we are. If you've never spoken about money with a friend, with your partner, with anyone else, start today. Why not in a safe place? Ask a girlfriend at the coffee shop to talk about money. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Just take your first step. Each one will take you farther and in a stronger and more confident way. So I've got an action step for you today. Find someone safe and practice talking about money. So if you've never talked to anyone, you can start with the mirror or a friend. If you've talked with the mirror or a friend, talk to someone a little less safe. And it's good to practice these things before you get in the workplace. You're building your muscle. Think of it that way, your comfort level with talking about money. So I say to women everywhere, let's talk about money. You don't want the old tapes to run the show. So everything on this slide is around the theme of what you focus on grows, and how much the money challenges that we have as women in the workplace have to do with our inner journey. And these inner voices come from places very far back in our lives often. I thought I would share 2 or 3 stories or quotes from some clients here, and you might be able to relate to some of them. Here's one. As hard as my parents worked, we never had enough money. And I've created the same in my life. I work and work and never seem to make or have enough money. That's an inner voice, an inner story that one client told me. Let me find one more here. Oh, I could never be like those people who live in a big fancy house. And I'm not sure I want to be either. Now that story, that client and I had a long conversation after that, because her image of who those people were and what they might have had to do to live in those houses and who they were created in her a tremendous ambivalence about earning and keeping and preserving money in her life. And that affected, of course, everything she stood for in the money conversations or money navigation she had at work. So these are, you'd want to identify some of your inner voices too and see where they have either affected you or limited you. So we're talking about getting in the driver's seat with understanding the old tapes that run inside of you. One way to get to those, and here's the action step for this part of the presentation, is to sit down quietly sometime, turn your phone off, close your door, make yourself a cup of tea. Leave yourself enough time to really focus and meditate and reflect on your life and journal about your money stories and beliefs. What do you remember about your past? What did you witness in your family life, and how might those things have affected you? It's part of your healing process to do these things, to nurture continual self-awareness. Journaling is a good way to do that, as I said, and you don't have to do it alone. Sometimes, again, speaking with people, sometimes journaling can be very powerful. And part of the healing process also is to learn how to, it opens the possibility, shall I say, as the slide here says, you develop a new mindset for what's possible for you and what you're worth and what you're capable of and what can happen. You will see new results as an effect. So I want to tell the story here of Jane. Jane is a client of mine, and she worked in what I would call the healing and service industry. So she serves in her work very vulnerable, underserved people. And she also had some family experience with these problems, which is why she created it, her mission, she described to me. And there was a time recently when her family relocated to my area, actually, and she needed to find another job and wanted to do it in the same industry. And she was tempted to accept the entry-level pay grade, despite her personal and its considerable personal and past work experience, because she was shy, still very shy about owning her particular worth. So she lived with that strong inner voice that said this. This is her words. How can I ask for more when the people I serve have so little? That put a very low ceiling on her sense of her possibility around dealing with money at work. So we worked together and we basically helped her write a new story, one that she could live in and believe in. It's about herself and her value, one that validated her worth, her dedication, her experience, her potential. And it was after that when she went for her very first job interview, she decided she had this new persona that she brought in that was bigger and more confident. And they decided to pay her the highest level in her pay scale rather than the one they usually offer new hires. Even better, they got a sense of her depth and dedication, and they offered her a special project in addition to her basic work. And they told her that if she succeeded in that project, that would put her in the fast lane for a promotion to the next level. You see, we teach people how to treat us. And of course, there are never any guarantees. I'm not promising you a magic wand, but what we do and how we carry ourselves and how we communicate who we are and our dedication to our mission does have a huge influence. So in this case, for Jane and our work together, it helped her create a new way to talk about herself and her worth, and opportunity flowed her way. This is what I call empowering your money mindset. She walked in with a more powerful money mindset. So I want to tell you about Mary Ellen too. She explored various dynamics in her life with money and dedicated herself to creating new dynamics where it counts. She found she was looking for a work-pay balance that fits her family life. And here's the thing about Mary Ellen. She had never talked to her husband at any depth about their family finances or money. She, like many women in families, and I used to be like this myself, so I can relate. She took care of the small stuff, and her husband took the reins for the larger picture in their family. Now, not that he hadn't invited her in their early years as a young couple, he had welcomed her into a role as a partner, but she kept refusing one way or the other because she didn't feel capable and she felt like it could work out. But in the end, after all those years, she hadn't a clue as to her overall family financial picture, present or future. And one day her husband told her, "We need to make more money, and you need to be a part of this now." And she panicked. Go back to work and manage all of family life. She was already full up with her family life. So she felt caught between a rock and a hard place. And that's when she reached out to me. So first of all, I coached her into initiating small and then ever larger and more deep conversations about money with her husband. Often who we are with money at work is very related to the dynamics of who we are with money ourselves and within our family. And this helped her connect her own dedication to helping bring money into the family and keep the family balance. And she educated her husband to the dynamics of her life, just as he educated her to the dynamics of their money life. And she had felt a lot of pressure to be, as many of us do, to be superwoman and do it all. But together, she and her husband soon came to understand that for her, it was very important, and for the whole family, to be strategic and find some job flexibility. Go back to work, yes, but underscore the need for some job flexibility. Once together, these conversations that she and her husband had came to this conclusion. He stood behind her in this mission, and she then felt completely comfortable and at ease with waiting until she found a job that gave her that flex time and the minimum income that she needed. She was relieved. She had her husband's full support, and she was clear. That strategicness got her to the place where she found a job that gave her that flex time, especially for summer, and occasional opportunities to work at home. So as a result of her story, I want to just remind you that sometimes money issues with work begin at home. So this slide has a lot in it, which I won't be able to go into in depth, but we want to learn and grow and be proactive before our actual and very important needs meet us in the moment, shall I say. So anytime, today is a good day to start. Why don't you explore your comfort zone with money? Understand really how comfortable you are talking about money, asking questions about money, uh, envisioning yourself navigating the world of money, and know your money ceiling. Your money ceiling is how much money in your imagination could you ever imagine making at the highest point? Every one of us, even if you haven't thought of it yet, you can know what your highest money income making point is by testing it. What if I said to you, you could make this year $500,000? Are you laughing? Are you grimacing? Maybe that's too much. Where is your ceiling? It's good to know. And often we hold ceilings that are too low, by the way. Then there's these energies called grounding, affirmations, and visualizations. Grounding, I think of as being confident and sure, finding that place in yourself. It's an emotion, it's an energy. Money is so related to our emotions and our energy. Affirmations are statements that you can say and repeat to yourself that grow, that somehow root you in this confidence. And I got a couple here I want to share with you. Here's one. This one would something you could choose to say around something very specific, like this. The discussion with my boss today is effective and successful. I am heard and valued, and I feel happy and satisfied with the outcome. Now, I invented that, but you could invent your own for your own situation, and you could write it down somewhere and post it on your bathroom mirror, on your dashboard of your car, on your kitchen table. And whenever you saw that, you could say it out loud. You will be surprised how much power that gives you. Teaming up with mentors and buddies is another way to be proactive. If you want to change departments, if you want to find out what it's like in a new workplace, you might find a buddy to help you imagine ways that you could do your research, or a mentor in one of those areas, or somewhere in your life who has some knowledge that you don't have, and you could be asking questions, gathering up your research. So I want to tell you the story of Bianca, who makes her big first financial leap. Maybe some of you out there can relate to this. So Bianca is an empty nester preparing for years to pay her college bills, retirement plan, and take care of her widowed mother. And she got a master's on the side, by the way. And when her master's was complete, now she was ready to get that job of her dreams. Her children were moving on. But she had forgotten something. She'd forgotten to stretch her self-image. And it was hard for her to imagine navigating these new worlds that the masters would open for her. And it took strength and courage for her to do this. So she came to me for support, and I encouraged her and guided her. One of the things she did was role playing with me. Role playing. Could she in her imagination pretend to step into the new her in this future? I encouraged informational interviews, just like teaming up with mentors and buddies to give her a sense of what was ahead. And I wouldn't let her settle. I wanted her to grow for greatness. And after all those years of dreaming of this time, she had not thought about how far she could reach. She had kept her vision too small. So keeping her big why in mind, which is something we will come back to, which is caring for her widowed mother and paying off those loans and helping her husband and herself get ready for retirement. She built up a sense of her potential, and actually in the end got a job with a salary 50% more than she'd first envisioned. That money doesn't come unless you imagine it and envision it. For most people, some people strike it rich, but you've got to have that vision. It really helps. Wondering how to motivate yourself? Take part in all these things, get clear on your big why. So here's your action step for today, and everyone can benefit from this. What is your big why? For Bianca, it was take care of her widowed mother, get comfortable with paying those college loans, and have enough left over for retirement. By keeping those things top of mind, that helped her focus on everything she needed to do to make that happen. So if for you, it might be you want a certain vacation that you want to take, or a car you want to buy, or somebody you want to help, a charity, whatever it is, get clear on your big why, because that big why will motivate you and keep you going. So I'm getting ready to come sort of wrap up here. So I want to share a secret sauce, a couple secret sauces for talking money at work. One is men are much more comfortable in the role of asking about their benefits. What benefits will I have in this job, or do I have in this job? What retirement accounts do I have, and what are the potential there? Am I ready for a raise? I want a raise, asking for a raise, some new opportunity. It might be in another department. It might be within your role, a new opportunity like some of my clients have, and maybe asking for a new job. Women are renowned for not being comfortable asking. There's power in asking, and one of the reasons women don't move ahead in the world of money at work as well, overall, there are exceptions, of course, and we all want to be the exceptions, right? We need to learn to ask. And to ask, you have to believe yourself. You don't want to give up, get discouraged. The biggest problem is not asking, not giving up. And so we need to prepare ourselves to hear no. Because remember that no means no for now. That's all it means. No, I can't see the value in this now. Sometimes it can be a sign you need to look elsewhere, but sometimes it can be a sign that you need to present yourself and your situation differently. So it's time to get creative and think out of the box sometimes. So there's only one you. You are valuable and even invaluable, and you want to find the right niche, and then you want to move as powerfully, confidently in that niche as possible. And doing so at work, empowering your money mindset. I hope I've helped you understand how important it is to look at your inner stories and your mindset that you carry. Carry it everywhere, not just at work, not just at home. So I call that money clarity, courage, and creativity. If you want to cultivate those three things at work, you want to cultivate them everywhere in your life, because it feeds wherever you're growing those things elsewhere, talking with your spouse, reading more articles about something, doing some research, having informational interviews, some of the ideas that we've talked about today. Doing these things anywhere will support your growth and your perspective and your sense of confidence everywhere. And I want to close by reminding you that it's not all about what you earn. It's not all about the raise. It's about learning to use these 4 tools that you can see here, while keeping your personal, work, and money goals regularly top of mind, and creating the picture, the harmony, the balance that works for you. What works for the person in the next office is not what's going to work for you and your family necessarily. It's okay to create your own vision. So you want to look at and know what you're earning and what your capabilities are there. And you want to look at what you're saving and investing. These are the 2 energies that flow in towards you and your family and your life. You also want to know and understand, track, follow, and pay attention to how you spend and how you give. 2 energies flowing out, 2 energies flowing in. We're looking for harmony, balance, and purpose in all of those. And when you do find that for yourself, that's another big why often, because you might see that the level that you earn or the level that you can save at work, even what you can give at work, tweaking those and going after your desires could be a very important part of finding that balance for yourself and that peace of mind and that purpose at work. So go for your dreams, empower your mindset, your money mindset everywhere. Well, now I can say thank you. Thank you for showing up today. And this is really showing up for yourself. When we show up for ourselves in the world of money, at work and at home, we are doing ourselves, we're investing in ourselves in a way that will pay off today, tomorrow, and into the future. So as my thank you to you, if you'd like to have a one-on-one conversation with me, I offer you a complimentary money clarity session. It's a phone call we can have for a short time. Maybe some of the issues and ideas that I brought up today have piqued your interest and you want to ask some questions or find out more. Maybe you want to know what possible next steps there are for you to strengthen your money muscle, your money talking muscle, break those taboos, find out maybe some tips or tools for your particular situation. I would be delighted to spend time with you on the phone briefly about that, and that would be my gift to you. So here on this slide, you'll see my name, Sandy McDougall, my email, sanda@well.com, my cell number, do write it down, and tell me when you contact me that you heard me on iambackatwork.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandy. What a great presentation and so much information and actions and things to do next. So please take the time to type in your questions now. And I can see that there's a couple of questions that people have typed in already. And Jill is asking Sandy, I feel too old to fix this. Opportunity is no longer there. Is it really worth it for me to try now?
Julie, you speak for so many women. Any progress, any new learning, any new focus you can give to your money life, no matter what your age or stage, will benefit you even 1 degree. Even 1 degree. Now, 1 degree of groundedness in the world of money, that could be, I'm going to learn something about this aspect of my retirement funds at work, my 401k. I am going to ask that one question I've always wanted to ask of my supervisor around my opportunities. It could be one step you take. We never know where that can lead. We never know. And often we feel it's too late or it's not possible because we've often not had the same awareness that we have today. You have new awareness today. So I encourage you to take at least one step, and one step periodically every so often. Try one step a month, something new. You will not believe how much that could take you by next year, next 6 months, next 5 years. Because 1 degree today could end up creating 10 degrees, 20, 50 degrees of change over time. It is never too late to start, and please don't ever underestimate the power of taking small steps. And thank you for that question. I'm sure it really helps a lot of people to think about that.
Thank you, Sandy, for the answer. We have another question. Lashanda is asking, taking care of kids and family and working, I'm so tired and overwhelmed already. What advice could you give me to help me go forward?
Another question that I'm sure speaks for many people. And I have been there raising my family and having an elderly parent and thinking about my work situation and never getting enough sleep and worried about the laundry piling up. Yes, yes, yes. So here, remember that we always have some choice. Some choice. It doesn't always feel like it, but we do. So I could, and I had to teach myself this the hard way because I went a long time not doing this. In overwhelm, it's hard to step back and look at our whole picture. But sometimes I would say to myself, you know, I don't have to sweep that floor now. I could let my house get a little out of, you know, out of the zone that I would prefer if I looked at my situation and I said, I need 20 minutes today after the children are asleep to close my door to some, you know, in a study or in a bedroom, a quiet place, make myself a cup of tea and take out a pad of paper or a journal and sit quietly with the big questions in my life. Because if we don't take time to step back and get perspective on things, we will lose the chance, whether it's at work or at home. And as I said, they're all related, to see the larger picture and to understand, as I said before, our big why. Our big why is to keep the whole show of our lives moving forward, but we can't let ourselves be burned out in the process, or we will lose the chance to make good decisions for ourselves and to remember who's number one. In most people's families, mom or the woman plays such an important role that we have to look at ourselves as number one, at least on and off, at least for that 20 minutes a day. And when we do, we will often say, hey, I need to ask for help here. I need to give up what I'm doing in that direction to give myself time to pay attention to what is really important here, my health, making better decisions at work, and even learning about money. So please do value yourself and your time and take time out on a regular basis to look at the big questions. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandy. That's the end of our questions, and I hope that everybody's joined us here today or watching the recording. Please take advantage of Sandy's offer and reach out to her for your free session. And thank you, Sandy, again for joining us here today. And I hope that our attendees, you join us again in the live webinars and watch the recordings. Thank you.